This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever. All right, we jump right into it. Did you stay up and watch the whole game last night?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. It was brilliant.
Okay.
It's always a fun time watching the Vikings beat the Bears.
That is a fact, by the way. That is, the Bears definitely because of my.
Oh, absolutely. And it feels like whenever the Vikings in my lifetime at least have like gone to Soldier Field, they could be the best team in the world, but then they play like a high school JV squad. But so I relish every time that they can beat the Bears.
So now the Vikings are in first place in their division, except for the fact that the one team that's tied with them also beat them. So aren't they officially in first place still?
Technically a half game back, I believe.
Half game.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Same record, but it's that like head-to-head tiebreaker.
Yep. So that's a game they're going to have to win at the end of the year, I would assume, in order to win the division.
Yes, and the Lions are just. Tev and I were talking about this when I walked in today. It's just they're banged up. They keep losing guys. They lost. Next time we have Bob on. Bob has been talking about their running back duo all season long, but they lost one of them now for the rest of the year with an MCL. I think it was a tear. So that's a season-ending injury, and they just keep losing guys defensively. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, the door's open.
The door is open.
The door's, and is that our last game of the year?
Yes.
Yep.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it's going to be the last game of the year. All this drama building up, man.
Yeah, which is how the NFL wanted it. Before they just kind of randomly made the schedule, and then at the end of the year, you'd get teams that would sit players because none of the games meant anything. So then they took all of the division games and put them towards the end.
Right.
So people keep playing.
You know you guys do know how uncomfortable it makes me. Except for I'm in it, twice as long. It makes me uncomfortable to have a Lions team that's any good. I'm not used to that.
It's the weirdest thing ever. It used to be like you start the season and you know you're going to at least win 2 games because the Lions are
right.
And now it's like that's the toughest game on our schedule.
It is, no question about it. It was a pretty decent game, actually, watching it last night. And there were periods during the game when it's like, did either one of these teams belong in the NFL? There are some weird moments in that game yesterday.
Yeah, there were a couple of times where it felt like each team was trying to let the other team win. Sam Darnold threw a couple erratic passes. I think the Bears had a touchdown that got called back for holding, and then they decided they were not going to score on this drive and kick a field goal. So it was, there were a couple weird moments like that.
Yeah.
What was the final again? 30 to
12, yeah.
30 to 12, yeah, there you go. I don't know, I just went to bed. It was one of those deals. I'm not used to staying up until 11:30 at night watching football. I literally walked into my bedroom. I don't remember another thing until I woke up this morning. I don't even remember going to bed.
And I don't know. I felt that way sort of about the game last night too, where it was like, I don't know. I never felt like the Vikings were ever in trouble.
Right.
But as soon as they went up, I think it was 20-6. I was like, this is in the bag.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah. This is enough. They're not going to blow this.
Yeah. And it's a weird game when Justin Jefferson is dropping wide open.
I know.
Yeah. Like what's going on?
What's going on with him over there? They don't throw the ball to him anywhere near enough, I don't think.
No, I mean, I think they could force it to him a little bit more if they really wanted to, but he's getting double covered and other guys are just so wide open that I think at this point, just keep taking what the defense gives you. And then in the playoffs, when we have to have him make plays, I think he'll be ready.
Do you two think that they are one of the best 4 or 5 teams in the league?
I do.
Yeah. And I think that the last 2 weeks specifically have started the kind of the trend of the teams that are, quote unquote, peaking at the right time where we're playing well and, we're not kicking last minute field goals to beat the Bears. Yeah. We're putting them out of their misery beforehand. So I think, we could be getting hot and be a surprise team going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I just noticed something. I looked up at the screen. My hair's actually combed. What happened?
I know. I was going to ask you about that. Do you have like you have to go to a bank or something after this?
No, I have to go get my hair cut because Catherine said, your hair looks terrible. Go get a haircut. So I got it all battened down the hatches up there, don't I?
All suave and coiffed.
Suave and coiffed. So I got to go get a haircut today. So I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Do you do like
Get
the
this long
full
deal.
barber experience with like the hot towel and like is it like an old school barbershop type place?
Or you just a great clips type of guy?
I'm one of those kind of guys, like, the sooner you can get me out of this chair, the better. I'm one of those kind of guys. Like, yeah, oh, it looks great. Okay, goodbye. But you know what's really weird? Since I lost that 80 pounds or whatever the hell it is, my hair grows faster, whether it's my head, the hair on my head, my beard, my nose hair. I mean, I don't know what the hell it is. Seriously, the hair is growing like 3 times faster than it used to. I just, so if you weigh about 310, you probably don't have to get a haircut more than about twice a year. What do you think?
I wonder if there's a study that links like weight loss to hair growth.
That'd be interesting, actually.
That would be interesting. I don't know, man, but it's honest to God, like I just shaved and I can already feel it growing out. That's weird.
I'm trying to think because like Tevin, how I don't do that most days, so believe it or not, I don't shave often.
No, it's hard to believe.
But like Tevin, how often do you like have to go? Also, are you electric or manual razor?
Electric shaver because I don't grow facial hair for shit. So I shave like once every like 4 days, depending on how quick it grows. And then, but like a haircut, I'll go like once a week, probably.
Okay.
Once a week you get a haircut?
Yeah, like I'm going today after the show.
Once a week you get your haircut?
Like right now, this is like long and uncomfortable for me.
Oh boy, it is. There's some length to that hair.
I got to make sure it's like lined up and the fade looks good and all that. So
sure.
Are you close with your barber?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like there was a time maybe like 6 months ago where I had something that I had to do on a Sunday that I needed my haircut for, but he's not open on Sundays.
Okay.
And so I like stealthily had to go to a different barber and like shamefully sat in the chair and didn't say anything. Like I didn't even tell my barber that I went to somebody.
Don't worry, I'll cut this after the show.
Thank you.
Segment.
Was he deeply hurt when he found out?
No, I wouldn't tell him.
He still never found out. Okay.
He couldn't torture that information out of me.
That works for me. That does work for me, no question about it. One of the things I will tell you is getting a haircut as a kid up and down, whether it was Plymouth Avenue early on and then West Broadway later on. The barbershops in North Minneapolis were the greatest because they were kind of like the barbershops you saw in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's all BS what you're talking. I mean, everybody's arguing while they're in the barber chair. Like, what?
Yeah, and if you're in a hurry, don't go to a black barbershop. Especially
oh, God, no.
Any like major sporting event going on. Like the place that I've been going for years now, like it's a family-run place. The dad is a Packers fan, and then like everybody else is Vikings fans. And so every once in a while, there'll be some very heated Packers versus Vikings debates that go on.
Oh, God, yes.
And it'll be like you'll get like a little zzz to start your haircut, and then it's 10 minutes of arguing, and then another keep it going, and then 10 more minutes of arguing. You're like, okay, guys, I gotta go.
I've been there. There's no question. I've been there. But yeah, it was a hell of a game to watch. Catherine, it was the funny thing about it is I was sitting in this office here, the studio, watching the game, and I walked out and there's Catherine watching the game in the living room. I was like, "Why don't you tell me you're watching the game?" She goes, I wanted some peace and quiet. Oh, you did? Okay, good. Thank you. Really appreciate it immensely. Really nice of you to stab me right in the back. But other than that, All right, so the Vikings come away with a big win. They're in first place. Well, technically they're a half game out, but
semantics.
Yeah. Semantics. That's exactly right. There's no question about it. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. We'll talk with a sports professional right after this. It's time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Memory Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity, which is very important. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care-focused facility that has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building, and that is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by the way. They've never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire of Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, and they are a family-owned, and that, by the way, I don't make that up either. I've known them, well, the father I've known for, I bet you 40 years. There's no question. But I do know them personally. They are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They are the best staffed memory care facility in the state, as a matter of fact. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends. And again, I don't call somebody my friend unless they are at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault. They're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
My Pillow, glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is here. Get the season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers haven't been on sale for over a year now. Regular price of $119.98 are now only $59.98. The six-pack towel sets are back in stock as well, with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list, from bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, so much more. So go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the six-pack towel sets, just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st. 2025, plus all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today, and please do use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now we turn to professional sports announcer Judd Zulgad to get the real take on what happened last night.
Well, thank you very much. It's very, very official.
Very
official.
Really is.
Yeah, it sounded good.
So, no surprise in the game last night. It kind of went the way we thought it would go, correct?
Yes. The Bears are very checked out. It was not. Here's the thing. It was a 30-12 win that was not very aesthetically pleasing, not a lot of fun to watch, but it also sets up a final 3 games now in which they should be fun. Seattle, and then followed by Green Bay at home and Detroit on the road, which should be those last 2 should be great. And you know what? Our Vikings have managed to lose games like last night. So
you're right.
So the fact that they took care of business is actually a pretty good sign.
I agree. There were times during that game I went, really? This is how you want? There were points in that game both those teams played terribly. What is that?
Well, the Bears are completely checked out. They're on they fired their coach a couple of weeks ago, so their guy Thomas Brown, I think his name is just in there on an interim basis, and their poor quarterback he's seeing ghosts, running for his life.
Yeah.
And the Vikings didn't play their best game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they did. I'm not saying that, but they also won, it's something that they have managed to lose games almost exactly like this.
You know what I found so cool about the game, because I watched the game from kickoff. I did not watch the last 5-10 minutes because they were up by a couple of touchdowns, and they're not. So I went to bed a little early, but not very much. But I will tell you one thing, and you guys, I'm sure, have noticed this. When you're out of town and there's a Monday night or let's say Sunday night football game from Minnesota, that stadium looks like a heavenly palace, for God's sake. That stadium is beautiful on national television.
Yeah, it plays really well. And they did that whiteout last night.
Yeah.
So, and you had the, white jerseys for the first time in their history. The Vikings wore white helmets. But yeah, in that place, when it's rocking, it gets loud.
It just seriously is like, is this the same stadium I've been in? It looked literally like it was the greatest palace ever built on national television.
It's all that's important. All that's important. TV. How does it look on TV?
It looks
It's
great.
the key to life right there.
Yeah, it was a fun time. One thing that's great about it is that Catherine enjoys watching sports as much as baseball and football. Not a lot of hockey or basketball, but she likes watching baseball and football, and it's kind of fun to have your wife sit there with you and be as fired up as you are. I like that.
As long as things go well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because if they don't go well, Tom, I guess you'll be on the couch tonight, and therefore.
Yeah, no, but I mean, this is a fun team. They're 12-2. Yep. No one expected anything from this team, and it's a fun year. And now they're tied, at least record-wise, atop the conference with Philadelphia and Detroit. And Detroit is decimated with injuries. They've got nobody left on defense. They just lost one of their two really good running backs, David Montgomery, and so Green Bay might be the biggest threat in the division. Now Detroit still is 12-2, so they're fine, but this is going to be a tough sledding for them. And a month ago, we all thought that they were probably going to go to the Super Bowl, and Philadelphia's won 10 consecutive games. It's fun to be in the mix because I could tell you from watching the Bears and a bunch of games on Sunday, there is nothing worse than December football if you have no hope.
I've been there. I know it. I know exactly. Awful. As a fan.
Yeah, no, but it's awful to watch because nobody, you can't feign. It's hard to feign enthusiasm in such a brutal sport when there's no real hope for it.
I agree with you. I just, like I said, and what you just mentioned, the fact that these other teams are kind of getting hammered by injuries and all the rest of it. The Vikings are in a really, really good spot right now.
Yeah, they're in a great spot.
Yep.
With 3 games, I mean, they essentially control their own fate if they can win these last. I mean, first of all, if they win these last 3, they finish 15-2.
That's amazing.
Which is ridiculous.
You're right. I didn't think they were anywhere near that good at the beginning of the year. Did you?
No one did. No,
I don't think anybody did.
Vegas put them across the board pretty much at 6.5 wins.
Most people thought they were closer to 2-15 instead of 15-2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So what did happen? Is the coach that good?
It's a combination of things. Coach is very, very good. The quarterback has played. A large part of the reason why they were put at such a low win total is at the time, no one knew who was going to be starting at quarterback, and B, they thought if it is Darnold, they're in trouble. And the coach has done a great job. And to his credit, Darnold's been, for the most part, fantastic. The only thing the thing that surprised me the most was that you would put a team on such a few projected wins with Justin Jefferson, first of all, on the offense. And that offense, Darnold's job is made easier by the players he's got around him. And then I thought it was weird. People thought the defense wasn't good, and the defense was coming off a year in which it was much improved, and that was Brian Flores' first year. And so they brought in more guys that fit his scheme this season. So those things, I think I put them at 8 or 9 wins. I thought they'd be okay.
Right.
But this whole thing that they were going to stink, I thought was overblown. But never, did I think we'd be nearing Christmas and talking about 12-2? Hell no.
No, that's true.
Full disclosure, didn't see this coming.
No question. Now, I do have one question for the three of you and all the listeners, of course. I'm not impressed at all with their running game. They don't have much of a running game.
They are, they actually used it last night more.
Yeah,
O'Connell loves to throw the ball so much. And then, their main back, this Aaron Jones, the guy they got as a free agent from Green Bay, he's had some fumbling problems, which is not really in his history. And I think O'Connell got more and more skittish about using him. But last night they used him quite a bit. But if they're going to win in the playoffs, you're right. They need to be willing to establish that part of the game.
They need a running game, and I have not been impressed all year with their running game.
O'Connell's never really this is the best run game he's had in 3 years, but he's never really put an emphasis on the run game. So yes, if there are drawbacks trying to win playoff games, you just hit on one of the biggest ones, which is if you can't run the ball in the playoffs, you're not going to advance very far.
Yeah, they're going to have to come up with something. They're going to have to figure that out because it looks pretty weak right now.
Yeah, well, the first thing is you got to stick with it.
Right, yeah.
You can't abandon it at the first sign of trouble, because if you do, the run game, that's the thing is this time of year and then in the playoffs, the games change. And the Vikings have, defensively, I think the Vikings are up to the task. Their run defense has to improve again. Mm-hmm. But Ivan Pace Jr., the linebacker that they lost, and he's going to be back against Green Bay, makes a big difference there. But you just hit on like one of the biggest factors of something that they have to have more patience with, which is their own run game.
No question. What do you two guys think, Tevin and AJ?
Yeah, I think that the run game at times has definitely struggled. We're kind of just middle of the pack as far as when it comes to the rest of the NFL, but it's hard to also justify continuing to run the ball when you have Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson, all these guys that are going crazy in the pass game. And I think we do throw the ball quite a bit as well to Aaron Jones. So he does help out in the pass game. So, I mean, but coming up in the playoffs, you definitely have to run the ball. Otherwise, you're not going to go very far.
Yeah. And I think it keeps the options open too, because I mean, if the team on the other side of the ball knows, okay, we're just going to throw, why even bother committing to any sort of run? So having, even though he can pick up at times 2 or 3 yards at most, we also saw last night where he can break off something for like 15 yards and really move upfield. And all of a sudden now they have to respect it. We shift to the play action, and then they can really take a shot downfield. So it's nice to have that as an option, even though he's maybe not like the elite back that everybody would want. He's more than serviceable and more than likely exceeding expectations. So it's nice.
I just think they should bring back Chuck Foreman. I don't care if he's 70. Doesn't matter. Bother me.
Just one of the greatest running at the one.
What's that?
Just don't hand the ball off to him at the 1 yard line, right?
Well, they didn't. That was the problem. Yeah, that was the problem, is the fact they didn't. And they fumbled and went up. What'd they end up losing by 30 points or something in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the last Super Bowl. The Raiders lost. The Raiders lost. Yes, they did.
So I don't know. It's fun to watch the Vikings play some good football. They've had some ups and downs, all the rest of it. But that my major concern, as far as if they ever do make it to the Super Bowl, which they do have a good shot of making, they're going to have to do something about that run game because it's just kind of lackluster.
Yeah, that's well put. That's well put. And it's the other thing too is if you can establish the run, that helps keep your defense off the field.
Yep.
Which at times they're guilty of not. The defense has been great, but I mean there are times where they have put those guys right back out there. Because if you're passing the ball and then you stop the clock on those, and then you're 3 and out. So, but I give them credit as far as downfield shots, as far as big plays. They've done a hell of a job this season. Like those aren't simple to hit on. And O'Connell's play calling, and Darnold has a cannon for an arm, so that also helps.
I want to ask all three of you this: How do you go from, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to bring this guy in, and we're going to draft him 3rd overall, then the guy just disappears, and then you bring him back, it plays very, very well. This guy was the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and most people don't even know who the hell he is.
Darnold? Well, he was a big deal at the time, but he played for the Jets, and the Jets are a dumpster fire. But what's funny is the 2018 draft, the 1st round pick was Baker Mayfield, who was picked by Cleveland. Then he bounced to the Carolina Panthers. Then he bounced to the Rams, where he sort of got his career back on track to a certain degree. Then he signed a really cheap contract in Tampa Bay, had a fantastic year, won a playoff game, and signed a big contract. And now Darnold, the 3rd pick in the very same draft, is going to follow the same pattern.
I know. It's not what is that all about? Why did that happen the way it did?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of coaches that just don't know what the hell they're doing to put Sam Darnold in position. I mean, he went from, like Judd was saying, the Jets and then to the Panthers, which are 2 of the most dysfunctional franchises probably in the modern era of football. And so for him, it was 2 unfortunate situations, and now he gets to come to a place with Kevin O'Connell where he's got weapons all over the place and KOC with a system that works for him.
Have you guys ever been locked into a deal where obviously it could be in sports, could be in business, and all the rest of it, but you're locked in working with or for somebody in management who had no idea what the hell they were doing?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Never happened.
I'm not talking about currently. I'm talking about at any point in your career.
Of course, yes, of course. That's like,
isn't that tough? That is very difficult.
well, yeah, it's hard to understand how they got there from a starting point.
I heard a story yesterday, and I won't rat anybody out, but it's one of my favorites. This guy was just appointed like the head of programming for a big broadcasting company. Not Hubbard. It's not the Hubbard Broadcasting Company.
Okay.
A different one. And a friend of mine went in and said, why are you playing this music you're playing? He goes, well, this is what the people want to hear. And he goes, you have to understand something. This is still radio. We still have an older audience that likes to hear some of the great classics, like, Molly Hatchet. And the young guy said, who's she?
Oh,
that would have been my response as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
well, but that's where it would be nice then if when they offered you this new promotion, you said, you know what, I'm not smart enough to take it. I'm just going to stay right where I am.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I've always wanted. Candidness.
Yep.
Just say, you know what? I prefer my current job because if I take this job, I'm going to be completely outside my weight class.
Yeah, well, that's a smart way to go, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, people don't have a very good idea lots of times of where they should probably stop.
I have a question for you. It's kind of interesting, Tevin. I'm kind of glad you brought up. I wouldn't know who that is either. Mm-hmm. What did change? Because when I was a kid, I knew all of the people that my mother listened to. I mean, going all the way back to the Glenn Millers of the world and all that. We used to know all the genres of music. Is it the fact, has the internet changed everything because you have access to everything in the world? You don't possibly have the time to focus on other things like that.
Oh, 100%. And once they started where you're able to download music and now like an artist can make a song today, put it out today, and you can find it. It was instead of trying to find the best music from maybe the past, it was how can I find the newest, greatest thing to be ahead of everybody else. And so that's how I always looked at music, was how can I find what's next? And by the time it gets radio play, I'm already on to something else because that's old news.
Okay, we only got about a minute left, so we can all vote on maybe the worst line in a song you've ever heard. Do you have one that you think about? This is the worst thing. And you can't go with the F-bomb or anything like that, because I don't think Ginny would appreciate it, but
Mm-hmm.
But mine is probably Rapper's Delight and the chicken tastes like wood. That's the best lyric you could come up with, is the chicken tastes like wood? Really? Okay, well, you guys got one?
I would have to think more. Not like there's so
think about it.
Yeah, there's so many potential ones, I'm sure, but chicken. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot that would come to mind if I had time to sit down and think about it. But the first one that I can think of, there was a song where they were making a song about how all these women are beautiful, and this rapper goes, in about 3 years, holler at me, Miley Cyrus, because at the time Miley Cyrus was underaged. And looking back, it was like that one probably shouldn't have been said. You telling the minor that, hey, in 3 years when you're of age, I'd love to have relations with you.
Well,
I like it.
Yeah, the only one I can think of is from the Welcome to Atlanta remix.
Oh my gosh, great!
Honestly, it's a great song. It's a really good song, but the one that always sticks out for me because it's the first time I ever heard it, I was like, come on, there had to be something better. Is I'm the MVP, most ballingest player.
Yep,
most ballingest player. Yeah, there you go. There's a line.
Call me the mayor.
Sometimes you just got to rhyme it up and be done with it.
Yeah, so good.
That is true.
Yeah,
there's
a lyric where somebody goes, they brag about going a mile a minute, and like there was a comedian that broke it down, but he's like, oh, it sounded so cool, but then I did the math, and that's just going 60 miles an hour. Like you're
really responsible.
And that's an old saying too. So that's just a ripped off old saying.
Yep.
It's true. He's in there going a mile a minute. That used to be fast.
Yeah.
It used to be.
Roger Bannister. Exactly right.
All right, Judd, you just keep talking some good football for the next 3 weeks, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Perhaps into February, dare I say.
Do you see them winning all three of these games? Because the first two, they probably should.
Well, the second the Packers game is going to be tough.
True. Yep.
So they should win in Seattle, especially because the Seahawks starting quarterback Geno Smith is injured, and I think they might start their backup, who's not any good. And then the Detroit game, Detroit is so banged up that you know now. But the Packers game is very interesting.
Why is it always the Packers game that we have to suffer with every year?
The Packers are always competitive or good.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable because in my youth they sucked.
Yep, they did.
In the 70s and 80s, they were terrible.
Now God's making us pay. That's what you're saying?
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? All right.
I guess so. Think about it and get back to me tomorrow.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks. Talk to you
man.
later. All right, bye-bye.
Judd Zulgad, Sport North, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think of that? We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. K&L Surplus and Ammo is your one-stop shop for all things firearm related. Located on Lake Drive in Circle Pines. A great store, by the way. Jim, the owner, has over 25 years of experience, offers honest value, great prices, with free shipping on a huge selection of handguns, shotguns, AR, and conventional rifles. Over the years, K&L has established the buying power of larger stores, and that's what keeps the cost down. That's good for you. If you're looking for a firearm and need to stock in some ammunition, go to K&L Surplus and Ammo on Lake Drive in Circle Pines, or you can just hop online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Money Talk. Mr. Money Talk himself, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Chris Egert with us. Any big news, Buster?
Tomas, you don't have a ball cap on. That's breaking news. What's happening?
I know, my
right now?
hair's combed. Well, because this morning, Catherine woke up and I went in every morning. I give her a hug and a kiss, and one reason I do the hugging for longer because it really pisses off our dog. Why am I not involved in this? He doesn't like that.
You let the dog know. You let the dog know who the boss is.
Who the boss is, no question about it. But my greeting this morning was, for God's sake, will you go get a haircut today? Yes, dear. I even combed my hair today. Very unusual.
You got to do that. You got to do that before the haircut because they got to let them see what they're working with.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
Smart move.
After the show, I'm going to go get my hair cut, and then, we'll see how it all works out in the end, right?
Have I told you about my idea for a chain of hair salons called Shear Silence?
Oh, you can't talk?
Yeah, I think you have. Remind us, though.
Have I brought this up?
You have briefed.
So
I want to be an investor.
Bring it up. Because what is it? Just where you can't talk, correct?
It's
you wear the color of cape based on if you want to talk to the person, you wear a green cape. If you don't want to, if you just kind of want to like not chat that much, you wear the yellow. And if you want the person to just cut your freaking hair and not waste your time with a bunch of idle chatter, you wear red. Perfect. It's a win.
Give me a red every single
Shear
time.
silence.
I want in and out, cut my hair, gone.
Now, I got to ask you a question,
That's what I'm
Mr.
saying.
Egert.
Yes,
I want to
sir.
ask you a question because, just being on the radio for 54 years and all the rest of it, I get it. But the fact that they know what you look like when you walk in, do they talk to you a lot more than everybody else anyway because you're a celebrity?
Well, first of all, I'm definitely not a celebrity.
He went with that. There you go.
If at best, when I go to Cub, I got a pretty good group of people at Cub who
There you
know
go.
that I work for Channel 5. That's when I go to Cub. Generally, when I go to, I will either go to the corner barber shop. They watch Channel 5, and they will actually like shame me into coming in and getting a haircut.
Okay.
And they chat. Like if I know I'm good, because they're like the gossip. They're great. I love them. But if I'm going there, I know it's going to be like nonstop talking the whole time. But I'll get up to speed on everything going on in the neighborhood and whatnot.
Sure.
If I don't want that, I'll go to Great Clips, and it's usually pretty quiet. And we go about our business and get in, get out, not a lot of chatting. So
I'm hoping it's about a 20-minute deal today. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, you can do your best by putting out the vibe too, right? Like there's also kind of that.
Shut up. Just do that.
You don't have to say shut up, but you kind of can. Oh, so what are you up to today? I'm getting my hair cut.
Yep, that's it.
Kind of just give them the one-word answer, and yeah. Well, good luck. I hope you'll have to let us know tomorrow if you get in and out in 20 minutes.
20 minutes. I'm going to look at the watch. There's no question about it. We're going to get it taken care of.
We just found out a couple minutes ago that Luigi Mangione was supposed to have an extradition hearing this morning about moving him back to New York from Pennsylvania, and it got pushed to Thursday. So that is something that we just found out about. It doesn't seem like there's anything stopping the extradition from happening other than it's going to be pushed off a couple days. So that just happened. From
the three of you, could I just ask you a quick question? All three of you. How did we ever get to the point where a guy shoots and kills someone, shoots him in the back, by the way, wasn't even ballsy enough or a man enough to go face to face with him, had to sneak up behind him, and you people are celebrating that? What the hell is wrong with people? Look, if the guy's being overpaid, let's work on the pay part of it, not the murdering the person who's making it.
Yeah, and I think it's also like a lot of people are, one, the amount he's getting paid, and then two, the number of claims that he's denying. Because maybe not him personally, but him being the figurehead of the company gets blamed for all of it. Because I've heard like where it's like up into the 90% of claims are getting denied or something like that. And I don't know if that's an accurate number, but where it's seems to be more denying than maybe should be done by an insurance company.
Oh, and I agree with that. But how is it all Brian Thompson's fault?
Oh, it's definitely not. But people just got to pick somebody.
I think some people view it as like, well, if he's the CEO, he's in charge of everything. He's got his finger in every single button on that. I'm sure he probably delegates a lot.
Yeah, every claim's not coming across his desk.
Exactly.
But his children now have no father. Why don't we ever think about things like that?
It's tragic. It's terrible that he was killed.
I mean, I never met the guy. Like I said, I used to live right about a block away from United Health down there, and I guess that's still Edina over there, I think, right on 169. But I never ran into him, didn't know him, didn't even know who he was, all the rest of it. I just don't understand how murder is the answer to anything.
Well, you're definitely not wrong about that. And I also think our culture is so ridiculous that like this kid, because he's good looking, he's gotten like a whole different layer of people interested in him and even more interested in the cause because the dude doesn't fit the normal profile, which also like
right.
Culturally, we're so hung up on weird crap like that. That's kind of ridiculous as far as
But it's not fair either the way they measured it. They took this Luigi guy and put him up against Sansevier because they're both, Italian. So of course he's better looking than Sansevier.
Hey, Sandy. We had Sandy's wife on the show a couple of weeks ago.
She's the best.
Yeah, it was fun. He gave us a heads up about it. They had this little donkey out there.
That's like kicking the horse.
Yeah, it was super cute. And we had her on, and the donkey was like, being being a jackass, is what it was doing. It was funny. She was good. I owe him that was nice of him to think of us, so it was good.
Oh, I'm telling you that video. If you have not seen, and I think the last count he gave me is over 100 million views of that thing.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
Jesus.
Yeah, like use your social media for liking that donkey, not saying nice things about Luigi Mangione because he's, whatever.
Right. Look, I understand that I'm not attracted to men anyway, but I don't see how he's that great looking anyway. He's okay looking, but he's not he's no Chris Egert,
Right. People are obsessed. Like the GoFundMe had to take down, like people raised over $100,000 for his defense costs and stuff like that.
He doesn't need because he's a rich kid, right?
Yeah.
So that
very wealthy.
One other thing before I go, you guys. AJ, I know you're a big hockey guy, so I don't know if it's tonight or if
it is tonight. No, it's tomorrow. It's Wednesday.
So it's tomorrow. The Wild are doing these. It's a fan night for it's appreciation for Brock Faber, but it's like Darth Vader, Faber.
Oh yeah,
good old Minnesota boy, Brock Faber. Yeah.
So
I must not have gotten mine yet. It must be still in the mail.
There's a little sneak preview for people to see are they giving those away or I don't know what the deal is. We got to.
Yeah, it's like a ticket package, which I'm sure if they were here, they'd say packages are still available. So go online to wild.com. But I'm not thrilled because it's an 8:30 start because they're part of the
national broadcast
Wednesday night hockey thing. And then my experience with that is it's an 8:30 that ends up being pushed to like 9:00. It's a home game on a Wednesday.
Oh God, yeah, that's
starting at 7:30 at the latest.
And let's assume they're like when you do something like that, a fan giveaway that's Star Wars themed, you're kind of like trying to cater to a younger, like have people bring their families and stuff in. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't imagine like taking some young kids to a hockey game that starts at 9:00 on a weeknight.
Oh God.
Oofta.
Shift the tone to something more sad, but Chris, do you have any updates on this shooting that was going on in Wisconsin, the school shooting?
Not much of an update from yesterday. What
is it? I guess was it confirmed that it was a student at the school who
a 15-year-old girl?
Yeah, 15-year-old girl. Yep.
Which, Tevin, your face kind of said it. It's not the usual profile.
No.
But yeah, not much is. I wouldn't be surprised based on the way the police chief was talking about it yesterday if there end up being more victims. Several people in the hospital, and it didn't sound great. I hope not, obviously, but yeah.
I would say this, that our leadership in this world, not just the United States, is the weakest it's ever been. I grew up in the most violent neighborhood in Minnesota history, and once in a while something would happen, but it's not like every day like it is now. Seriously, what the hell is going on? We have got to back off and say, you can do whatever you want. It's your life, and you go out and you be you. No, there are rules to follow, and you will follow them or get the hell out.
Last year, 45 people died in 158 school shootings.
Jesus. It's 158 school shootings.
I don't know. That's another one of these cultural things where somehow we've grown as a culture where we're just accepting of a certain amount of these things happening.
Yes.
Which is the most insane thing in the world to say.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think about this falls into a different. There should be a conversation. It's a 15-year-old girl. That's not the normal profile.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to start hearing about the girl having, social problems and the girl getting sucked into some bull S on their phone and some kind, the kids have a weird kind of pressure and a weird sort of, unhealthy mental health because of a lot of the social media crap too.
No question.
So is that what's kind of driving the school shooting bit more so than, and I know when Columbine happened that there weren't, I'm trying to think what year that was, maybe 2000, I don't remember, 99, maybe 1999. They didn't have phones then, that can't blame it on that. But I don't know. We got a lot of things to fix, and I don't know. Not seeing a lot of will to get after problems like this as a society.
A brilliant report, sir. That's all I have to say.
I don't know how brilliant it was, but
I said brilliant. Damn it!
Good luck with your haircut. I look forward to seeing your. I hope you get a fade like Tevin's. It would look good.
I get the fade going. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good call.
Good.
No question. No doubt about it. All right, Pally, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, and that number is 952-925-5608. We'll take a break, be right back. Some other hunyucks joining us or not, doesn't matter to me. I don't care. What do you think?
Yeah, I know. I know that other hunyuk might be about top of the hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. What the hell? How is that fair?
He's just, he's too busy. He's too busy for us right now.
Riding a bike, probably.
Probably true. All right, we'll be right back right after this.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for Bradshaw & Bryant.
My Pillow is glad to announce their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price of $119.98 are now only $59.98. The 6-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all My Pillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the 6-piece towel sets for just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today. And please do use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, it is. There's no question, ladies and gentlemen. The top 5 gifts teachers want and 1 gift they do not want. I have never purchased a gift for a teacher of mine. Have you ever gifted a teacher?
Yeah, I have. Like, especially in like elementary school, I would say, like, just because your kid is with them for the entire day and they're teaching all the subjects, but also like both my parents being teachers, my sister's now getting into teaching. It was always great, like getting all of those like baskets of candy and stuff like that, like brought home. It's like, oh, sweet. Thanks. Thanks. Kids that are being taught by my parents. I love Klondike bars. Thank you.
So both of your parents were teachers?
Yeah.
Or are teachers?
Yes. Yeah.
And where do they teach? I mean, at what level?
My dad has bounced between, in my time, between like middle school and high school up in the St. Francis district.
Okay.
And then my mom does, I want to say it's like kindergarten-ish age in, yeah, I mean, she's very good with kids in the kind of Fridley district. So she's close to home.
She's in Fridley.
Yeah.
There you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so do you have any idea, since you grew up in a family with all teachers, the top 5 gifts that teachers want? Do you have any idea? Yeah, what do they want for their Christmas
Kids
gift?
to behave.
That's a good start.
The greatest gift you can give the teacher of your kids is a little more attention when it comes to making sure that they are well behaved, and you're taking maybe a little more attention in their schoolwork, where it's not, why is my kid, why do they have a D in my class? Well, they haven't turned in a single assignment all year, and I'm still helping them pass. So no, I would gift cards and stuff like that. I feel like anything kind of small, and you don't have to go too overboard. Just a quick, hey, thank you very much.
So not an apple is what you're saying.
Not an apple a day.
No, I think the fruit baskets and fruit cakes are a little out in the late 80s.
Who are you calling a fruitcake?
Oh God!
What?
I knew I should. I was coming out of my mouth. I was like, this is going to be interpreted the wrong way.
Not a good idea. If you're giving your kid's teacher a gift this month, here's what they do and do not want. Someone asked 800 teachers about common gifts they get this time of the year, and your safest bet won't cost you much. It could even be free. 52% of teachers said handwritten cards or letters from their students are a great gift they'd love to get. They're making that up.
No, my mom does love that. Like, just something from kids. She on the fridge, she'll put up like drawings of kids that she teaches, where they're like, oh, Mrs. Frederickson, look, I drew you, or whatever. And it's terrible. I can say that. She wouldn't say that, but it's terrible. But she loves that. So a heartfelt note, I think, is super easy to do, and it's a nice show of thanks.
Okay, now you're up against the wall now, because you're going to have to explain, after talking about the gifts that your parents want,
for sure,
the top gift they don't want. Do you know what that is?
That's tough.
Let me put it this way. You and Tevin would like it, but I don't know if teachers would like it.
I don't know. I don't know. What is this?
I feel like you're
ready?
Booze.
Alcohol.
It is. The top gift they don't want it to get is booze. It's true.
Teacher.
Who's sending their fifth grader into school with like
All right.
Timmy,
take this bottle of Jack and give it to Mr. Johnson.
That is amazing. You guys nailed it right out of the chute. It is booze. That's the worst gift they get. Not everyone drinks, and it's also just awkward to get alcohol from a child.
That is hilarious.
Like, I don't think that's illegal, but that feels like a drug deal. And
stuff. It feels wrong. Like it definitely feels wrong. Although there's when I think about it, there's a couple teachers that I would assume would want the alcohol from when I was in school. There's a couple.
Sure. Calm them down a little.
Stuck into the back room and came out with a coffee cup that was full of something that wasn't coffee.
52% of teachers said handwritten cards or letters from their students are a great gift they'd love to get, but here are the top 5 answers, the gifts they'd like to get, and booze is far from the top of this. That's so amazing that you guys both guessed booze.
I just didn't think there was a chance that was going to be it.
Way.
Because who's sending their like I don't know, like their third grader in with like, hey, give this bottle of Grey Goose to Mrs. Anderson.
Right. Because the kid's probably taking a couple of pulls off and on the way to school.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. There's definitely an age where you're like, you're too old. You're not old enough to drink, but you're too old for me to just give you alcohol to bring to your teacher.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably not going to do that.
That would be what, about 14 or 15?
Yeah, I feel like
Yep.
the first alcohol-related incident in my school was we were in like 6th grade. A girl was drinking like alcohol out of an apple juice cup. Wow. 6th grade, 7th grade.
In 6th grade. So she go to St. Joe's with me? Thank you very much. Great to meet her.
Minus transferred.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here are the 5 things they do like to get. Number 5, packaged food like cookies or candy. That makes sense.
Yeah. Why not?
Number 4, personal items like a scarf or a coffee mug. You cheap little prick. Coffee mug. You got that for free somewhere.
My dad has gotten those like at times, and you
Coffee
could tell.
mugs?
Yeah, you could tell it's very much like one of the parents got it in like some like basket or something for free.
Right.
Like,
Right.
give it to your teacher. That's a nice present.
That's good for them. Now, this one, I'm not buying. They want these. Number 3, classroom supplies.
Actually, I would say 100% because most of them have to pay for it out of their own pocket.
Why?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Like most teachers, like there's stores specifically for teachers to go buy like school supplies for, especially if you're in a underfunded district. Absolutely.
Yeah. My mom just this past weekend, she was making like cut out gingerbread man type things for like a holiday activity or something like that. And I was like, oh, no, she went and got all the supplies for that. So that's actually, I think, could be number 1 because they're always going to use them.
Yep.
Well, did you see what the mayor of Chicago did yesterday?
No, what did he do? What they do?
He got it passed too, and it's this kind of thing. Apparently, $17 billion for the city budget of Chicago. $17 billion. What the hell? That's a lot of money, man.
I know Chicago's a pretty big city. That feels like quite a bit of money, though.
That's a lot of money. Number 2, cash or gift. Don't give cash to your teacher. That's tacky.
I mean, if you wedge it in that heartfelt note, nobody's going to complain.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
You attach it to that bottle of alcohol. Send your
the bottle of alcohol. That's exactly right. Now, this one I could see why teachers would want. This is very sweet. Number 1, the thing that they want from you is a handwritten letter. See, I love that one.
Definitely.
That is terrific, the handwritten letter. I've never done any of this stuff, by the way.
Oh, neither have I.
Never been involved in any of it. I just, whatever. I got a quarter on me here. Here you go. Here's your quarter.
There you
Good
go,
for
teach.
Here you go, teach. You're covered. You're completely covered from top to bottom, no question about it. But yeah, I would think a handwritten note to a teacher would be good.
Yeah, and even if you don't need to go out and like get a card or anything, just grab a scratch piece of paper. Hey, thanks for being patient with me. Appreciate it. See you in the new year.
Yeah,
boom, done.
Okay, who of the 3 of us would you accuse most of this intentionally misspelling words just to be a dink?
Ooh, I don't know. I wouldn't misspell words on purpose unless it was like. Obviously, I'm gonna take my name out. I don't think so.
Tom, I feel like you would do that to give the person a hard time.
Maybe. There's a possibility. What the hell? It all works on you. But yeah, so this is very, very nice. So give a handwritten note to your teacher. They go, here'd be the, oh, what's this? Oh, a handwritten note. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Just toss it aside like that.
Happy holidays, F you, love Tom.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
And I never gave any of my teachers gifts because I remember specifically there was a time when somebody would come in, give the teacher a gift, and then everybody goes, oh, aren't you being a kiss ass? Like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, note to self, no gifts for teachers because I'm going to get made fun of.
No question about it. Did you guys always get along with your teachers?
Yeah, I think so for the most part.
Yeah, there was 1 or 2 teachers that I think just like, I don't know. I'd like to crack jokes, and some teachers did not have the same sense of humor that I had. So a couple of them, I don't think like disliked me, and I didn't dislike them, but it was just like, okay, we're just coming here for the 50 minutes and listening.
Yep.
Out of all of it's got to be what when you go from 1st through 12th grade, it's got to be. You must end up with what, at least 50 to 100 different teachers, depending on, because once you get to high school, you got a different teacher for every class and all that.
Yeah, you get about 7 hours or 8 periods or whatever every day, couple semesters or trimesters. So yeah, I bet you're probably
I would say 50-ish feels about right for your entire school
I'd say so.
career.
Well, see, what I'm trying to get through here is, so I could look at that I thought were flares, but it turned out to be dynamite. That still is a good gift, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't light it at school.
They didn't, thank God. Nobody did. No question about it.
Full Tommy boy on it.
It was Benny. It was Tommy. It was Chucky. And there was one more of us. I can't remember who the other person was. Yeah, did not go smoothly. I will tell you that. There's no question about it. Having dynamite in the school, they didn't care about. That's not dynamite. It's a flare. Why don't you read the inside there, Buster?
TNT.
TNT right on the box.
Very distinct. Yeah.
I did love those the railroad yards in North Minneapolis. They're not even there anymore. I mean, some of them are there, but there used to be a gigantic railroad. I would say 6-7 different tracks going under the 7th Street Bridge, going from North Minneapolis to downtown. That was a hell of an area, man. Will, ladies and gentlemen, I got to point this out. Save up to 70% off your holiday shopping with the Tom Barnard Holiday Online Auction. Visit TomBarnardShow.com. Keyword auction to register now. Bidding starts this Friday. Auction runs through 8 p.m. And, of course, that was last Friday. I just want to point that out. It runs through basically Thursday. Correct? Yeah. Tomorrow.
Yeah. It goes through 8 o'clock on Thursday.
The 19th of December. $1,000 on items will be up for bids this 1 week only. A Canadian fishing package for 4 at Fletcher Lake Lodge in Ontario, valued at $8,740. Free golf lesson and 10-hour peak punch pass from Swing Lab. That's valued at $520. A 2024 modern buggy quad hauler, 124 QH from Pleasureland RV, $7,750. A one-night stay at the Intercontinental Hotel at MSP Airport. Includes 1 night of self-parking. All of these things and much, much more are out there for you. You have until Thursday at 8 p.m., 2 days from now at 8 p.m. when the auction ends. Remember, visit TomBarnardShow.com, enter keyword auction to view items and bid. See, that's a wonderful thing, don't you think? I mean, doing that kind of stuff. That's one thing I still love about Christmas. A lot of people are in the spirit of giving and all the rest of it, or setting up stuff like that. So I love that about this time of year.
Oh, yeah, it's terrific.
It is indeed. We shall take a break, be right back to complain about. We're going to complain about something in the next segment, aren't we? I hope.
We get to complain to them. He gets to complain to us. It'll be a great complaint fest.
We get to ask him Kristyn's question from yesterday, so hopefully he'll have some insight for her.
Yeah. I love it. It works perfectly for me. We'll be right back. J.A.
Ja.
We'll just call him Ja from now on.
Yeah.
Josh Arnold joins us right after this.
I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot.
Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad apple taste.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Is J.A. ready to go?
He sure is.
Ready to go.
There we go.
Josh Arnold, ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Arnold. What's up, Pally?
Not today. Not today. Too many things are up. Concerns again with the market. Oh my goodness, the Fed is meeting today and tomorrow, and the Fed could only drop interest rates 25 basis points or 0.25% on the short term. Many are concerned that the Fed is going to cut rates today, but their commentary will give many traders pause that the Fed probably will be on hold for cutting interest rates for most of 2025. And that could lead to a little bit of disappointment in the market. Why the Fed is going to pause with their rate cuts? Well, the Fed is looking at the data, and the data seems to indicate that inflation is not coming down to the degree that the Fed wants. And the Fed still sees housing costs being up, which account for about 35% of the consumer price index. They see food costs still high. They see the cost of cars still up. And of course, insurance costs are still up, and they all go into the CPI data. They do see, however, oil costs coming down, and that is a nice positive. But the others, housing up, insurance costs up, neither of which I think are going to be coming down, let alone remaining stable. So the Fed will probably pause for quite some time going forward in cutting interest rates, and I believe they'll talk a little bit tougher. Right now, the interest rates are in we'll say, almost a normal curve, with the near-term rates being lower than the longer-term rates. The 10-year Treasury has moved from 4% to 4.4% in the last month. And that has also brought down Treasury prices. As yields go up, prices come down. And for those holders of Treasury bond funds, well, you continue to be in a world of hurt. Yes, you're getting yield, but you're not getting any price increase. So that does hurt. In terms of more price decreases, well, the Dow is down 200 points today as bank stocks, so JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are down, as is United Healthcare. United Healthcare has been on a downward move, dropping over $100 a share since in the last month. And that accounts for a good half of the Dow's downward move. And the Dow is now running, or could be running, nine days down, which is the longest negative streak dating back to 2018. That doesn't mean there are positive things out there in the Dow, but the entire index is down. Another down, been market leader NVIDIA. That stock has moved into correction territory. So down over, right now it's down 12% from its high, which was reported just before its earnings announcement last month. Traders seem to be using NVIDIA as a source of funds to go into other chip stocks, including Broadcom, which reported better than expected numbers last week, plus better guidance, particularly on the back of manufacturing custom chips for one of my favorite companies, Apple. Actually, it's my largest holding and my client's largest holding. Apple, meanwhile, has moved to another new high. Now, that could be looked at as a safety trade. It could also be looked at that Apple's business is starting to reaccelerate. Very nice move on that. In the last, now have less than 2 weeks left to trade. And if you've got a 401k that you haven't fully funded, please do so. And if you need to take your required minimum distribution from your IRA, got to do it now.
God, what an amazing situation.
A general view. Meantime, I think that 2025 could be a very interesting year in the market. There are many prognosticators who are looking for the market to be up more than down the first half of the year and then down the second half of the year. I think it's going to be an up and down year with plenty of focus on developing generative AI and developing, we'll say, better trading, better trading metrics going forward. I would continue to focus on companies around the internet, which could include companies involved in generative AI. And I've done very well with my leisure-oriented businesses, which I don't think is going to go away.
No,
and leisure. Whoever figured that out?
Right. And Josh, I got a quick question for you because we talked about it briefly yesterday with Kristyn Burtt, our entertainment reporter, but she brought up the fact that Donald Trump was kind of asking if he has the ability to abolish or kind of dismantle the FDIC. Is that something that could potentially happen, and what would be some potential ramifications if the FDIC were to just kind of go away?
Donald Trump is going to get rid of bank insurance the Federal Deposit Insurance Company, I don't think that is going to happen. That would not be a positive for savers, and I don't think that would necessarily be a positive for the banks. So the likelihood of that happening, I think, is slim and none, and Slim's already left for lunch. I think there'll be a lot of speculation. Well, Trump can do this, Trump can do that. That's stuff that I'd highly doubt happening. I think Trump is pretty big on making sure that consumers are protected, particularly in their savings. I don't think you're going to abolish that type of insurance, which dates back to the 1930s. Just as I don't think that there's going to be any abolishment of the insurance around your investment accounts through the Securities Protection Investor Corporation, which protects your accounts up to a certain amount should your brokerage firm go out of business. So I don't think that's going to happen. Now, what could happen, I mean, Trump is going to have an effect on tariffs. Trump has said that he wants to cut out the middlemen in terms of drug pricing. So that's had an adverse effect on the pharmacy benefit managers and insurance companies that own that, which is companies like CVS, companies like Humana, and even to some degree United Healthcare, because the pharmacy benefit managers are considered a middleman who take a cut out of drug pricing. And there has been a big push for a lot of years, dating back to Hillary Care in 1992, to reduce the cost of pharmaceuticals. The drug companies have fought on that and have said, hey, yes, costs for drugs are cheaper in other countries, but we've got to pay for all the research and development that's done here in the United States.
Yep.
And all of us have benefited from the innovation coming from the pharmaceutical companies. So that's, I only have, we'll say, kudos for these innovations coming from the pharmaceutical companies, the drug companies, the biotech companies, because that has, it did help extend the life of my wife when she got sick for 2.5 years. Now, when it comes to investing in drug companies, not for me, because there is, in my mind, too much potential for government interference. And there's always the issue of death, which can also hurt the stock prices of the biotech and the pharmaceutical industry. But if any of these companies have a breakthrough product, those stocks will zoom up. So, but it's not an area I want to invest in.
There you have it. Y'all, I have one question before you go, just very quickly, okay?
Yes.
If I get elected the mayor of Chicago and I set aside $17 billion to run the city, is there any way I could slide like $1 billion of that into my own personal account?
Well, just ask Richard Daley.
That's a great answer, Pally. That's a great answer. The Daley family. All right, pal. We will talk to you later in the week.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Josh Arnold, ladies and gentlemen, reach out. That man knows what he's doing with $1. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, absolutely.
We will take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. KB2 up next. My Pillow is glad to announce their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price of $119.98 are now only $59.98. The six-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to mypillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all My Pillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the six-piece towel sets for just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today. And please do use promo code TOM.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. I never got a straight answer from, well, I did get a straight answer from Josh Arnold, but I need one from Kristyn Burtt as well. I want to run for mayor of Chicago, and then I want to sign in a $17 billion budget, but I want to keep $1 billion of that for myself.
Perfect. I mean,
how do I do it?
If we have an oligarchy for our federal government, we might as well have it for our state government as well.
Right, there you go. Works for me.
Yeah. All you have to do is give me like a couple million, and I won't tell anybody you kept that billion.
That's right. My invoice is going to be bigger each month.
Every month you're going to get a bigger invoice from you?
You're going to, yes, it's going to increase dramatically.
I understand 100%. Tom, it's going to cost you $100,000 a week from now on. It's just how it is. We don't keep track of all that money. And look, I don't know this guy in Chicago. He's not my kind of guy, I don't think. But I just, all of this money just disappears and no one knows where it went and nobody cares. That's amazing to me.
Nobody's held accountable for anything anymore.
No.
It drives me nuts. Even just like in everyday life, I'm like, where's the accountability for just even like random little things?
I know.
I feel like I'm someone who tries to be accountable if I do something wrong. Be like, I'm sorry, that was my mistake. Let me learn. Let me do better. Let me apologize. But people just are like, whatever.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you made a mistake by joining this show and you need to apologize for it?
I didn't, but I enjoy you guys every morning. You guys kick off my day.
Well, we feel the same way, sister.
Thanks. Look, I didn't even give you a snarky response.
No, you didn't. I mean, it's pretty unusual.
It's Christmas. I'm all in my like holly jolly feelings.
Yeah, I'm telling you, only 3 days of shows left and before Christmas. So, I mean, it's going to be phenomenal. Almost a 2-week stretch at Christmas here that we don't have to work.
I'm going to be lazy by the time I come back, though. I'm going to admit that.
I'm right there with you. That works for me, no question about it. Kath and I have been watching a lot of Christmas movies, just kind of hanging out by ourselves. We watched there's a new version of The Grinch, and the animation, I don't know how they do this, Kristyn Burtt. The animation looks 100% 3D. How do they pull that off? That's amazing.
Computer.
It's all computer generated.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of that hand-drawn animation, which is kind of sad.
Yep.
Occasionally they'll do one where you're like, oh, this is beautiful and hand-drawn, but we're losing the art of it, and we're losing the animators. I think that is the big deal. Especially Disney really fostered that community. And as the generation gets older, I mean, a lot of them are already gone at this point, but that makes me a little bit sad because you go back and I think like I can watch Bambi and appreciate it, but I'm not necessarily sure like a kid who is 10 years old is going to appreciate Bambi in the same way because they're going to be like, it just looks so old fashioned because they're used to that 3D imagery.
Yep. I mean, it is unbelievable watching it. We got a nice TV and all that stuff, so I suppose that does help. But my God, it's 100% 3D in your brain. I guarantee you, it's beautiful.
Well, it's amazing when you see, I even remember seeing Finding Nemo, which they had done a lot of computer animation for. And probably the second one was Finding Dory. Like you start seeing the water and you're like, sometimes certain angles, it looks completely real.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think that's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
No question about it. All right. No, we've only got 1 week left till Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're dialing in on very specific things. What should we be watching the next 7 days?
There's a lot to be watching. Well, first of all, Man on the Inside. We know you hate Ted Danson, is getting a season 2. Highly recommend watching that over the holiday season.
It is a good show.
You have watched it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How many episodes?
Just because I don't like him. I just don't. He's just such an ass kisser. I hate that. Just not who I am at all.
But he's great in the role.
He is. He's a very talented guy. And I understand he's a nice man too, from what I hear. I've never met him, never talked to him. But
maybe we should give him the benefit of the doubt that he's had some growth since his incident at the Friars Club.
I don't know what you're talking about. What incident at what Friars Club?
The blackface at the Friars Club.
I never forget. I don't get it.
It was on the cover of the New York Post. I will never forget that. So, the cover.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He's standing right next to Whoopi Goldberg.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Like,
yeah.
And maybe it was a surprise to Whoopi, but she stood by him. I would be like, dude, like, no.
I thought she's the one who talked him into doing it.
No, because it was a roast, and everything usually is a surprise at a roast.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought they were both in on it. No. Not happening, huh? I don't think I'll do that to Tevin. I'm pretty sure I won't.
Please don't, because this will be the end of the show as we know it.
That would be it?
That would be it. And I don't want you to do that. I'm just telling you now.
Yeah.
And now I have it on record that I said it was a bad idea. So
yeah, that's true. Very, very true.
I also will not be on the show that day. So all that.
You know what's so great about that is that the tone of Kristyn's voice is, and I knew it would be, no.
Nope.
Well, I mean, Howard Stern got away with it for how many years? He did blackface how many times?
I don't remember him doing blackface.
Oh, God, it was all over the place. Well, maybe they've hidden it now, but...
Yeah, maybe. I just remember all of his sexist... I mean, when he would have, like, half-naked women parade around. And that was also broadcast on E! News, or the E! Channel, like, every single night, I think at, like, 11:30 or 12. at midnight. And you go back and you watch it now and you're like, that is just cringeworthy. Like asking women to step on a scale to find out their weight, like stuff that you think about now. And it's so cringeworthy. And obviously he's pivoted in his show, which is good, but that stuff does last forever. I mean, but E! News has also like scraped all of those old reruns. They're gone.
He has no ratings anymore either. That's the problem that he has right now. Nobody listens to him anymore.
Well, I don't subscribe to Sirius XM. I mean, I think some people do, but I feel like it's not as prevalent as it was 10 years ago.
Even close. I mean, it's just the same. Look, I mean, I got nothing against Howard. I don't know Howard. I just, he helped my career by taking an ass whooping, which is good for him. But I never did understand that whole go way over the top, because when you're going way over the top, you're eventually get to the point where everybody's going to go, yeah, I know what you're doing here. You're trying to be really outrageous, and I want nothing to do with it.
And I will say about once a quarter, one of his interviews will kind of make the headlines. So he still does like usually one buzzworthy interview.
Yeah.
So like let's say 4 times a year, you'll generate a headline from a Howard Stern interview.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? So now let's see, it's Christmas Eve, 1 week from 7 days from today, it's Christmas Eve. That went by very fast.
The year went by fast.
Yeah. It really did.
I was thinking to Bill last night. We were just randomly talking about the show and all of you. And I was just saying,
here we go.
No, it wasn't bad. I said, I can't believe, I was just trying to like do some math or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this show will have its 2-year anniversary in February. And I said, in some ways, I feel like I've only been on the show for a year because time has just flown.
Yep. It is true. And how many years now total?
12 years you and I have not met.
And we've never met, and we've been on the same show for 12 years. Unbelievable. Well, I haven't gotten my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame yet, so I'm not coming out till that's your job, sister.
Oh, wait, I have to wait. We're going to do the $250, and then we have to like crowd fundraise the $75,000 if we get the nomination.
75 grand.
But we have to get Hubbard in on this because we can't. If the 3 of us do it alone, we don't carry enough weight. Hubbard needs to get in on this with the nomination.
That's the deal.
Well, we need some muscle behind us.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. What's Stanley doing?
Stanley, Jenny, let's go.
Yeah.
Stanley 1, Stanley 2, Stanley 3.
Like I can write it, but I need Hubbard Broadcasting to co-sign it.
Window opens on April 1st.
April 1st? That's
right around the corner. April 1st through May 15th. Yeah. They're very strict. There are no exceptions after that date. 0. They even bolded it on their website to be serious about it.
AJ, you're going to be our calendar keeper.
The calendar keeper.
Put it on your Google Cal.
Sounds like a pretty prestigious position. I like it. All right.
Yeah, I know. We just made you secretary.
Yeah, now you're the secretary. That works out beautifully. No question about it.
I'm president. You're VP, Tevin, of this committee.
Kristyn, I know I already brought this up to you, but going to that movie the other day, and it is available on Prime and all the rest of it, I understand that. But going to a movie where there were a total of 7 people in the theater, and I know this is a different generation and it's going to go away. There aren't going to be any movie theaters, 5 more years from now, you think?
I think there will be.
I hope so.
I don't think we're going to have these massive cineplexes. I do think we'll see more like 1 to 4, 1 to 5 screens available. We are seeing a lot of theaters here in Los Angeles, single standing theaters, like 1 screen being renovated, some of the old gems. Yeah. Good. So that has been really nice. And a lot of the celebrities are the ones who are buying it and renovating it, which is great.
It is.
Because not only will they show first run, but they'll also do special runs, whether it's a classic bringing it back to screen or whether it's doing a small film festival. So there's always going to be opportunity for that. But we do have to realize that Gen Z and Alpha Gen going to the movies is not a special thing because their entire Disney library that they're growing up with is on their television. So it is going to take Hollywood continuing to do big epic events, a Wicked, a Barbie, an Oppenheimer, a Barbenheimer, whatever that is, to get people to come together and go to the theater.
maybe I should host an event because I've always wanted to do something, and I've never brought this up before, I don't think. I have never seen Gone with the Wind, and I promised myself years ago that I would never see it until it came back into movie theaters. I mean, that's a movie I want to see on the big screen. I don't want to see that on a television screen.
Could you work with Man to maybe get a special night screening that you could host
I would
your
think
listeners?
So. That'd be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, next spring.
And maybe, I'm throwing this out there, maybe do a Q&A at the end or right before the screening, either one with someone, whether it's a film historian or someone attached to the film. It's probably someone like a family member at this point, but someone who has some sort of history and understanding of the actual film. Well, I actually think I know someone who could be great from the Academy. They retired, but they know everything about film.
Really?
Yes, my friend Randy Haberkamp. I believe he retired this past year, but he is a genius when it comes to film and film history.
Are you coming to town for it?
Are you going to fly me into town?
Me as well. Oh, listen to you, cheap thrill. My God. You want me to hang out with you? It's going to cost you the big dough, Tom.
Come in town. But I'm assuming I would then come in studio the next day.
Yes, that's very, very true. Mm-hmm. We got to work on this next spring. Do a Gone with the Wind. I have never seen the movie. Yeah. I've always been holding out for it to come back into theaters, but I've never seen it in the movie theater or on television. I
mean, or someone from University of Minnesota might have a film historian on staff.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking someone from TCM. Like, there are a lot of people to probably reach out and be able to give some history on it. It'd be fascinating.
I love it. It's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
Okay, we'll get started on it. No question. Yes. All right, any closing words, sister?
Yes, because we talked about this, and I said, this is going to happen really fast. Luigi Mangione, documentaries. There were 2 announced yesterday already. None of them attached to Netflix so far, so I have a feeling Netflix is probably working on their own behind the scenes. One of them is being done by the Amanda Knox documentarian. And the other one's being done by Alex Gibney. And that's the one I'm probably going to be most interested in. Alex Gibney did an amazing documentary on Scientology called Going Clear. He's done Enron, the most famous men in the room. So he's done a lot of really well-known documentaries. And he is an Oscar-winning documentarian. He won for Taxi to the Dark Side back in 2008. So this story has captured everybody's attention.
Yeah. No question about it. Another brilliant report.
Brilliant, I say.
Brilliant, I say. We will talk to you tomorrow. Be brilliant again tomorrow, would you please?
Do my best.
All right. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Closing words, fellas.
Go to YouTube and subscribe. That's all we ask. And
that's it.
Something nice for somebody today.
Yeah,
that's it.
Leave a nice comment or make fun of Tevin and I. Whatever you want to do.
You know what I like is the fact that 72 hours from right now, you guys will be off for 2 weeks.
Oh, it's going to be glorious. I even lined it up with my other job where I'm off for like a week there too. I might come back fat.
Well, here we go. Here we go. All right, fellas, we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Family show up in about 10 minutes.